The town that started the Civil War. I've spoken to you before about that book. If you didn't see that episode, I encourage you to get it. It's about Oberlin, Ohio. And it involves, in part, the story of a federal agent, a federal marshal, if my memory is correct, who went into Oberlin to try and capture, retrieve, and return a fugitive slave to his owner in the South. When some of the men of the town learned that the agent had arrived, within a matter of minutes, they surrounded him with guns and told him, it was either 20 or 40, but it wasn't 3 or 4 guys, who surrounded him with firearms and told him, you're not taking the slave, and you're getting on the next train out of here. And the reason that it's called the town that started the Civil War is because so much of the abolitionist spirit was present in and flowing from Oberlin, Ohio. That's why I say that what happened in Nevada could be more critical to the future of this country than what happened in Waco or what happened in Ruby Ridge. And then let's compare those things. But again, for emphasis' sake, I want you to grasp the full weight of what just happened. Armed federal agents withdrew. Many in the militia will say retreated. Others, speaking more unkindly, will say tucked tail and ran. Whatever way you want to call it, armed federal agents backed down, drove away, holstered their weapons, and went home and left Cliven Bundy and his cattle to continue trespassing on federal land. Now, this is going to have a legendary effect. You have to understand that the militia movements are going to study this. They're going to look at every inch of footage. If they've got any smarts, they will. The federal government, the NSA, the FBI, they will mine every cell phone call, every video that was taken from there and transmitted by cell phone. They're going to look at every square inch, every foot of the I'm talking old analog tape here. They're going to look at every bit of the detail because they can. We know that they're spying on us. All right? We know that they, right now, are gathering all of our cell phone data. We know that they're gathering our computer data. They're going to look at this and they're going to analyze it. And they're going to determine from what happened there, what steps they will take the next time. All right? Whether any of us want to accept this or not, this was a live drill, okay? I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I've got to take another break, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about this again in tomorrow's program, all right? But this was a live drill. You don't deploy these kinds of assets to take cattle unless you have some other agenda. I guarantee you that there were people in the federal government who wanted to see what would happen. They wanted to see how many people would come. They wanted to see who would come. They wanted to see what weapons they would bring. They wanted to see what kind of order they would maintain in the crowd. They wanted to see who emerged as leaders of the crowd. They wanted to see who the hotheads were in the crowd. They wanted to see who the cool heads were in the crowd. They wanted to know if they could get the public, the militia, the protesters to back down when all of those people saw the armed guards, or rather the armed agents, taking the cattle. This was a live drill, people. This was to gather information. And what the federal government left with, and what the militia and the scanty news reports they came out of there left with, are a lot of questions that are frightening in their possible answers. I'll be right back. This is the Voice of Resistance.